Chris called me a little over a year ago, and I hadn't known him previously, but he had heard about us. He said he had a house that he wanted to give us. And I was very skeptical because that's just too big, right? That's just enormous. So I was like, what? Okay, let's talk about this. Came to understand that he had a house that he had built. It was brand new. And the more I learned about it, the more I realized this was perfect for our transitional living program, our Next Steps program, because he had been building it initially for multifamily housing. And so it had large bedrooms with bathrooms and a large shared kitchen for the youth, which is exactly what we do with our transitional living. Once he kind of convinced me he really does want to give us this house, I introduced him to the board, and we got to know him, and we got to know Kelly, and it really happened. He really gave us this brand new, beautiful house for our Next Steps program.
The giving of the Transitional Living Program house was only a year ago. And in that process, Chris had taken the opportunity to get to know Jackson Street even more. Not just us as an organization, but what we were doing with the youth. He was able to meet a lot of the youth moving into the Transitional Living Program house. He was there on move-in day and got to see, their smiling faces of how, this is the coolest house we will ever live in kind of attitude that they had. And we had also been in the process of doing our Albany renovation, our Albany house renovation. And once we had wrapped that up, there were some things that we were like, gosh, I wish we could have done this, or I wish we could have done that. And Chris happened to be around when we were saying, I wish, I wish, I wish. And there he appeared, and he's like, let me do that for you. I would love to do that for you.
We made a plan, we talked about it. Within days, he already had dump trucks out, he already had things taken care of, he flattened out the backyard. He just, when he sets his mind to something, he makes phone calls and he makes it happen. And that's when I knew, I was like, okay, this man means business. Like these two mean business, and they do things efficiently, well, and fast, and what they say they're gonna do, they're going to do it.
From there, I was kind of like, well, why don't we show you the rest of our sites since you've been so involved? I just wanted him to see what we were doing and the youth we were working with, and the differences that his little and big gifts were doing for us. And so I had brought him to Corvallis House, and we had planned to do paint, new furniture, and floors for Corvallis House. That was our plan. We were calling it a refresh. We had no intentions to completely remodel. But Salvador and I, and Ann was there as well, just walked through the house with him, and we were just showing him how things worked and didn't work. And Chris just said, why don't you let me do this for you? And I think we were all kind of taken back, because that wasn't our expectation at all of bringing him, into our sites and showing him around. And he just followed us around the house and listened.
I could tell that he was passionate. I can tell that there, in his voice, that it kind of changed, and it kind of hit him. I think that his impact and what it has done for future kids, and not even just our younger kids, but our older population, right? There are 18 to 24-year-olds that are, being thrown out in this world post-COVID, and he's giving them another chance and a fresh start to start over, and make something of themselves for the community and for their own families in the future. I think he got bit by the bug, right? He got bit by the bug, and I think a lot of staff, and I got bit by it 9 years ago, and I think he got bit by it and sees the impact and what it can do for our future kids and our communities we serve.
Chris and Kelly are deserving of the Caring Community Award because, from my point of view, they have gone above and beyond just gifting and giving. You can tell that they have fallen in love with the youth that we serve and truly understand the mission behind the work that we serve, and they want to be a part of that. He's made sure that there's, welcome mats that are bright and colorful. He has made sure there's hooks for their backpacks and for their wet towels. Like, just the detail and his understanding of what a youth might need or want in a space that they're living in has just gone above and beyond. It's hard to explain the impact because it is incredibly emotional, but he is actively ending youth homelessness.
I just want to thank Chris and Kelly from the bottom of my heart, from all of my heart. It's made such a difference for us. And I think it's lightened our load as we're working and as we've been going through these hard years of COVID, to have the energy and the ideas, just the ideas that we weren't thinking of, and how much that added. So it's not just the gift of the house or the gift of the renovation, but the gift of being able to think about what we can do, and not having limits on that. And that energy and commitment and creativity has just been amazingly valuable. So thank you, Chris and Kelly. I so appreciate you both, and here's to many years to come.
Chris and Kelly, I just want to say that you are absolutely beautiful souls, so spirited. We are lucky to have you. It takes a village, and you are now part of our village.
Thank you, Chris and Kelly, but there's just no way to ever thank you guys for what you guys have done for the kids. And the thank yous will come from the kids. The kids will be able to show you guys how much this has helped for years to come, and just thank you. There's no words that can describe this, because the kids deserve it, and you have done so much for so many kids, and future staff too, that are going to get to grow in this environment and be the best human services social workers out there in the community. And it not just helps the kids, it also helps our staff members, and yeah, just thank you so much.